Hi there, welcome to Island Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Cancer energy. And we're going to look at it from a couple different perspectives because not everyone harnesses their Cancer energy the same. Some people have learned more lessons than some other people. Some people have discipline. They're more shadowy, worldly, egoic nature. They're hopeful, loving, self-disciplined within themselves, maintain balance within themselves, treat other people the way they like to be treated, are loving and encouraging to other people. And some people aren't there yet. Some people may never get there yet. Some people might present themselves as loving, like they harness high vibe Cancer energy, but they might use their emotions more manipulatively in a relationship, might be more driven by something else other than love, but in order to get certain people to be in relationships with them, they present themselves as loving. So we're going to see what comes out in the story, and we all just need to listen to our intuition about the different people in our life. Now I'm going to shuffle the Intuit deck to see what it wants to add. And we have parents, and your willingness to learn new things will eliminate the agony of resisting. Sometimes we're still in more codependent energy, and we could be looking outside of ourselves for the answer, for people to love us and validate our worth and value, versus kind of going with the flow where we're not children anymore. And this card about willing to learn new lessons is kind of like Sagittarius Virgo energy, that I'm supposed to be my own individual, and I'm supposed to learn to love and nurture myself, be like a good parent to myself. Some people are bad parents to themselves. They indulge poor behavior in themselves, or they're harsh and critical to themselves. And, we're not children anymore, and hopefully we don't have people in our life that are doing that to us. But if that's kind of what goes on in our head, we hang around other people, they're just joining in on the chorus of what we say to ourselves. We can let other people manipulate and control us. We're adults, but other people could still think that they're supposed to be the boss of our life and we're supposed to listen to them. High vibe energy is about freeing yourself from things that manipulate you, knowing your worth and value, but you have to be willing to kind of love and believe in yourself and heal from past pain and heartbreak and face your fears about being more independent. And the reason that came out is impulsiveness. So some people some people do kind of indulge our more immature nature, and then people in their life are unhappy with them, kind of like, when are you going to grow up? Why do you do those things? Haven't you learned that that isn't the best choice to make? And so some people could be dealing with that in their life. At the end of this, I'm going to get some cards out asking what could be coming up next that people don't see coming if they harness high vibe Cancer energy versus if they harness a more worldly, shadowy Cancer energy. And I look at this card as the overarching reason for the reading, which is the Knight of Pentacles, which can be, again, how we harness our Virgo energy. Are we willing to deal with those issues within ourselves and see how those things manipulate us? And then there can be other people in our life that are happy those things manipulate us. Our fear, our insecurity, our more codependent nature, not loving and believing in ourselves. And other people are happy to be in relationships with us if we're in that kind of energy because they're in some way kind of shadowy energy themselves. There's other people in our life, though, that harness high vibe Virgo energy, and we have the free will to align with our high vibe Virgo energy, high vibe Cancer. You know what? I'm going to do this work within myself to free myself from past pain and heartbreak, fears, insecurities, self-limiting beliefs, to be more independent, to learn the lessons I was meant to learn from those life experiences, work through it, come to a place of peace about it so I can let it go and move forward in my life, continuing to believe in myself, in love, and in my dreams. And some people haven't learned to do that yet. And they could make their life more about, again, looking to make offers to other people to love and believe in themselves, make their life more about indulging in the world to make themselves feel better, getting in relationships to feel better, making their life more about money or materialism and status and image to feel better. High vibe people have seen the truth. The truth sets us free. Love is the answer, but not everybody's learned that yet. So, what's going on in Cancer energy? We have the Two of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles, which is, and then the Hermit. So, high vibe people, and the reason it came out is because of the Nine of Swords, that we can be up in our head and fearful of love, fearful of trusting other people, because we probably dealt needless in our life with people who weren't very loving, weren't very just, weren't very fair, were bossy, controlling, immature, and it can kind of imprison us and make us afraid of trusting other people, trusting ourselves, and it can kind of keep us from spreading our wings, being more independent, flying, soaring in life, you know? And so high vibe people decide, you know what? The Nine of Swords is Gemini energy, which talks about my free will. I have free will. If I think I'm in a relationship, the Two of Cups can represent soulmates in our life, all these different people that are significant people in our life for us to learn lessons from. What's your truth? What's my truth? What motivates and inspires you? What motivates and inspires me? What do you want to invest your time, energy, and effort into? What do I want to invest my time, energy, and effort into? The Hermit is Virgo energy. High vibe people would be motivated and inspired to put in this work and effort to free themselves from what manipulates them. Other people might like to be in relationship with people who've done that. Oh, you're more free of things that manipulate you. You're more open to giving and receiving love and have learned lessons in life, tempered your more immature egoic nature, you know, self-awareness, self-insight, like a spiritual leader in the world, taking action from love. Yeah, I want to be in a relationship with you because that's not who I am. And I think you are the answer to my problems. I want to be in a relationship with a loving, nurturing person. But sometimes we can get in these mismatched relationships, and some people think, you know, again, getting in a relationship with someone who's loving and insightful is the answer to their problems. That'll make all their problems go away. But they still, maybe some of them haven't realized you have to do this work within yourself. Because I am not the answer to your problems. I do not know all the things that manipulate you in your mind and your fears and your insecurities. Only you know those things. And only you can offer love to those things. But it does take investing time, energy, and effort to work through those things to set yourself free. And some people just want to go get in a relationship with someone else so it looks like they're not stuck, they're not in prison, they moved on, look, they freed themselves, look, they're not the same person they were before. But some people are just getting in a different relationship, making an offer to someone, so it looks like they've healed, grown, changed, matured themselves, but they're the exact same person that they were in the last job, the last friendship, the last romantic relationship. Other people are offering truth and love to people. Other people are kind of using their emotions manipulatively. It's like a strategy, living more from the mind than the heart. Gemini is air sign energy of the mind. And some people, it's more of a strategy. I'm going to present myself as loving and make an offer, offering them these things of the world that I have, which can be, I'll be in a relationship with you, I'll have sex with you, I have money, status, image, power, I'm attractive. Whatever I have that I think somebody wants, I'm going to go make an offer to them. And I'm going to hide, that's like shadowy Virgo hermit, I'm going to hide that I'm really living more from my mind than my heart. And so as we go out in the world and we're working with new people in our life or the people that are currently in our life, if we've learned to listen to our intuition, we kind of listen to our intuition about the different people in our life. We can go out in the world and offer people truth and love. And some people will kind of reject that. It's like here, like somebody trying to offer someone the fruits of the Spirit, truth, love, patience, self-discipline. And they're like, get away from me, get away from me. That's not my truth. In my Gemini energy, I don't want to do love. I get hurt doing love. I don't want to do the inner work to free myself. I think I can keep living more from my mind than my heart and keep moving forward in that way. So we have different people moving forward in the life. Some people have learned some more lessons than some other people. Some people want to keep learning more lessons. I want to free myself from things that manipulate me. I want to be more free and independent in the world to live my more authentic life, where my ego and my fear and other people and the world don't manipulate me. And other people are manipulated by those things, and they're probably going to keep thinking that's a good idea until they're willing to do the work to free themselves. And everybody thinks that the way that they're moving forward is going to end up victorious. Otherwise, we probably wouldn't do it, right? And the Chariot is Cancer energy, but it does imply that, you know, we can look victorious in a lot of different ways. Some people, they want all the attention. If I invest in this, if I make this decision, if I get in this relationship, I take this job, will that make it look like I'm this emotionally balanced, victorious, stable, loving person? Will I be in the spotlight? Other people are like, you know, I just want to have control of my own vessel. You know, the car can represent like our worldly vessel, and we have to learn to work with the gifts we've been given. You know, we got to learn to master our mind, master our emotions, master our more immature, impulsive, reckless nature, whatever. That's like true victory. I move forward in an emotionally balanced way, not driving my life off into the ditch, tipping out of balance, indulging poor behavior in myself and others, because I probably already did that, and I already learned that that didn't work out the way I wanted. And because I wanted change, I did this work within myself to deal with the truth. The truth set me free. Now, I have mastered how to work with my worldly nature and my worldly nature with love to temper my more worldly, immature, egoic, lustful, prideful, lazy nature. And I'm moving forward in an emotionally balanced, loving way. The reason this card came out is because of the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands, kind of like the impulsiveness card, is Sagittarius energy. Everybody can harness their Sagittarius energy differently. You know, for the first many decades of our life, we might kind of be more driven to live from our mind than our heart, want to go indulge in all these things of the world, because shadowy Sagittarius is our more immature nature. Some people are still in more immature energy. Other people have kind of been there and done that. And then high vibe Sagittarius is higher learning and education. I went and indulged in those things, and it didn't probably work out the way I wanted. And I realized I needed to wrap my brain around this game of life. And I wanted to feel more balanced, and I wanted things to move forward in a more emotionally balanced, loving way. And maybe some of the things I went to go take action towards in the past, you know, everybody could have been more immature. Then when we're in those friendships, relationships, family dynamics, you know, some of the people we kind of want to distance ourselves from because we could find them. The Nine of Wands can mean that you feel kind of defensive to people, and you could feel that people are kind of hurtful and unkind, and Some people imprison in our free will. We're either aligned with our more hopeful believing nature, or we kind of reject that one and kind of imprison that one, like, I'm not going to work with you. I'm going to work with my more shadowy Cancer energy, my more worldly nature, hiding from the truth, because in high vibe Virgo is about seeing the truth. So if we're rejecting that, we're kind of not wanting to see the truth. I want to keep living more from my mind than my heart. I think I know best. Pride comes before the fall. And some of those people could still be making decisions in their life more about themselves, more about these things of the world, hurtful, unkind, bossy, controlling, like to boss around other people, like they should, kind of not respecting other people as their own independent individuals. Like, well, no, if I get in a relationship with you, maybe I think I'm the boss, and, you're supposed to do what I tell you. It's like, I'm my own individual, and I don't like being around people who are bossy or controlling or hurtful, unkind, or egotistical or immature or egotistical. So there's some people in our life that we've been in relationships with, and we kind of, out of love for ourselves and to stand up for ourselves, we kind of distance ourselves from those people. And then some people in life, we don't really know, maybe that, we come in contact with all these different people to help us get clear about what our truth is and what our truth isn't. We all can kind of be inspired in our Sagittarius energy by these things of the world that we want, and we have some lessons to learn in life. And so we can move forward in some situations in our life. In a lot of ways, it could seem in line with what we wanted to manifest in the world. But then as we go, it could feel, maybe one person is putting and very inspired to put in work and effort from love to make a relationship work. And then they could kind of feel like, it seems like I'm putting in a lot of the work and effort to make this relationship more emotionally balanced and loving and creative and inspired. And you kind of seem to, coming with, but you don't really take that action in your life. Because if you really are, doesn't mean you have to be that way with everyone, but if you're someone who gets in relationships with people and you're feeling you're on the same page as them and you're motivated and inspired out of love for them, with those people you can be a very loving person and a giving person, and your kind of cup of love can overflow because that's what drives and motivates you. But then you can get in a relationship with someone who's like, that's perfect. I'm so glad I invested in you and you're that type of person. That's not who I am, but I want to come with you. And we can put in a lot of work and effort into a relationship to make it work. But eventually it can become kind of overwhelming because we're trying to bring a dream into reality based on truth and love. And we're putting in the Virgo energy, this work and effort based on the lessons we've learned to invest in it. And it could feel like other people, again, kind of more shadowy energy, that they're kind of indulging in the relationship. It's great that you put in all that work and effort. And I'm so glad you've learned these lessons. I'm so glad that you're not like being immature or bossy or controlling or manipulative or lazy. You keep putting in that work and effort, and I'm going to move forward with you kind of as long as it works for me. And then we have the High Priestess and the Four of Wands. The High Priestess is Cancer, Pisces energy, two emotional water sign energies. And if one person does this work within themselves to work through their emotions and some of their fears and insecurities to keep moving forward in life, investing in listening to their intuition. And then the Four of Wands is Another fire sign energy like Sagittarius, you know, wanting to work together with others in joy and celebration, because Cancer energy is about a loving home, an environment, and loving yourself and all that. And so within yourself, you invest in yourself to maintain balance within yourself and work through your fears and insecurities from love. And so while one person can be doing that, shadowy high priestess, Four of Wands, and Virgo can be that some other people in our life are kind of hiding, that they are kind of more motivated by themselves or the things of the world. They also want to look victorious and successful in relationships, want to be in relationships with other people. But it's just that they're a little bit more hiding, that they're kind of more about themselves. So long as this works for me, it's good for my ego and my image and all those good things, I'll stay in it. But I don't want to do this inner work within myself to free myself from things that manipulate me, that make me act the way I act. So it can be a lack of self-awareness. And some people use their intuition in a shadowy way about people. Who's the people who seem motivated and inspired by love and putting in work and effort, and that's what drives and motivates them. I'm going to go get in a relationship with them. And then at the end here, we have the Five of Cups, a fire in the home. Which the Five of Cups can talk about. High vibe people want to keep putting in this work and effort to free themselves from things of their past that manipulated them. Being focused on some relationships in your past that didn't work out the way you wanted, instead of looking to the future and aligning with the Two of Cups. So if during the course of friendships and relationships, high vibe people, something could come up. Because sometimes there's kind of things that don't get triggered within us till we're kind of moving forward in something, and then it would be like, oh, wow, this is kind of something, or it could just pop up on its own. But we could start thinking about some situations in our past that didn't work out the way we wanted. And so we could almost get caught up more in our head, like, oh my gosh, you know what? I remembered this situation, and maybe something about this situation is making me feel that way, or something just kind of got triggered in me, something kind of buried in my subconscious. Or do we start to feel that maybe people that we're in a foundation with, that maybe in a more shadowy fire energy, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius energy, that do we feel like someone is trying to parent us, where it's like, I don't want to parent? Is someone being kind of more immature or egotistical? Shadowy Aries being kind of bossy, controlling, maybe just more about themselves, more about ego image. And it's like, wait a minute, something's going on here that I don't like. And that's in the High Priestess emotionally, is just that people are kind of listening to their intuition and kind of observing what people are doing and why they take the action they take, and maybe what kind of seems to drive and motivate them. But initially, I think if people have something coming up and they don't know what it is, because for a long time we don't want to see the truth, so then a person might do this work within themselves. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. I certainly don't want to blame my partner or my friend or everybody else at work. I need to do this work within myself. I need to figure out, why am I feeling, maybe feeling a little trapped, maybe feeling like people are being, like I say, a little immature, a little driven and motivated by things that aren't what drive and motivate you. And so then maybe kind of more a divided house. This is a feminine figure. The feminine figures can talk about people, male or female, being more connected in with their emotions and their intuition. And the fire energy, in a more shadowy way, could be more driven and motivated, by these things of the world or themself. And then, initially in our more worldly nature of self, you know, we are kind of more motivated and inspired, maybe more all these things in the world that we want. And then hopefully as we learn through life and we're enlightened to the truth, it's like elevating, we get more connected in with listening more to our intuition and love to guide us. And hopefully we become a less immature, self-centered, more motivated by the world type of person. And, hopefully we get more balanced within ourselves. But sometimes we can find ourselves in relationships where, again, we start to realize that we could have gotten in a relationship or a workplace with people. It could have went going good for a long time. There's no guarantee when people's life is going to start to drift in the ditch. People can be living their life doing good, and then it's like, they get caught up in their head, they get caught up in their ego, they get caught up in their more immature, lustful, greedy, whatever. And there can come a time where it's like, oh, wait a minute, someone seems to not be looking to the future and focused on love. And it could be that one person could be ready to move forward in either a more emotionally mature relationship, a more independent way of living life, have worked through some issues within themselves, so they're kind of a different person than they were when they got in the relationship. And sometimes some people, they don't have an interest in dealing with some of those issues from their past, and they want to keep going the way things have been. Like, you stay the same, whatever baggage you have within you, you suck it up, because I suck mine up and I don't deal with it. And I just want to keep moving forward, staying in denial of some of these truths and some of these issues that affect how we act in the world. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want you to deal with it. And then, kind of realizing, I thought we were all going to put in work and effort to harness, connect in with our emotions and our intuition and listen more to our intuition and love. And high vibe Aries is making good decisions in a relationship. I thought we were all motivated by love. I thought that was our truth. And I thought we were all going to do this work within ourselves, to let love and intuition guide us in the relationship. I didn't realize that you seem to be more about yourself or these things of the world, or living more from your mind than your heart. And as time goes by, I kind of see our truth as different. And then I'm kind of more driven and motivated by hope and faith and belief and love, and you could be more about yourself or ego or image. And basically, and sometimes in relationships, you do have all these things to work through. Well, I think this way, you think that way. I like this, you like that. And, we kind of got to work through. And for a lot of things, people are willing to work together and find kind of common ground about those things. But eventually, it can get to the core truth. And at the 9 of Swords, the 10 is completing a cycle where we kind of let go of some of these ways of viewing life, living life. We kind of learned lessons along the way. We dealt with some past pain and heartbreak. We're willing to let those go to keep moving forward in life. But that could be a core truth of some people, that I'm not doing that. I was willing to do all these other things, but the way I view life, well, that's, we're at a core foundational level. I am in my Gemini energy, which is the 9 of Swords. I'm more about me or these things of the world. You're more about love. That's not my truth. And so that's when, problems come up in a relationship. Other people in our life, friends, family, adult children, coworkers, everybody does do kind of this work within themselves. And they do work through their past pain and heartbreaks and self limiting beliefs and fear of change to be inspired to, I don't want to carry around this baggage all my life, and I too do this work within myself because I want to be proud of myself that I'm making maybe more emotionally balanced growing up, making better decisions in my life, especially if I'm going to be in a relationship with other people. If I'm going to work with other people, I kind of need to take those people into considerations in the decisions I make. But anybody can have their idea of what the dream life is like. And some people are like, well, no, that's not how I view it. I can move forward with people in a relationship, and I still think I can be more about myself. And so they keep kind of maybe doing these more immature things, and other people get tired. I don't want to act like your parent. And I don't want, if this isn't how you want to live your life, then let's not live our life like this. You go your way and I'll go my way. But I didn't think I was going to get in a relationship with someone who has these unresolved issues or does invest in doing hurtful and unkind things to make me sad. And sometimes with some people where it is a more mismatched relationship, they could have fear of change, they could have fear of being more independent. They kind of like it maybe being a little bit more about them and themselves, and they want to keep repeating this old pattern in order to try to stop you from continuing to move forward, and therefore kind of wanting them to move forward in life and keep healing and growing and maturing themselves. That's when they could do some kind of more immature things just to stop you. Come back and focus on this relationship. Come back and put in work and effort here. Quit putting work and effort into your own unique talent, gifts, and interests, and kind of becoming, growing and maturing yourself. I want you to stop that. I like to be the center of attention. I'm overwhelmed maybe because you're moving forward and you are letting go of some of those things, and you are looking at life maybe from a higher perspective. And I don't view life that way, and I was happy doing it the way we were doing it. And, you're supposed to talk to people when things are changing and it could cause you some concern. Where are we headed? I'm not sure if I want to go that way. But instead of doing that, some people could just try to do something. And for some people, when everybody could kind of realize, oh, we can get in a relationship and we can all think kind of what drives and motivates us is the same thing. Because if we do have a lot of things in common and things that we enjoy and like and some similar viewpoints in a lot of ways, we of course would think, well, they are motivated and inspired by the same things I am. And then as time goes by, that's when people can kind of realize, oh, you kind of aren't driven and motivated by the same things I am. And, oh, you're kind of more willing to step out of your comfort zone and be more independent. And I might like to stay more in my comfort zone and make my life more about the world. I thought you would want to stay in the relationship and making your life more about those things of the world. We could have both been in more codependent energy initially, and then as time went by, one person learned to kind of love and believe in themselves, and the other person's in still more codependent energy, and they like to be in a more codependent relationship. Then some people purposely could almost do things to try to, get out of the relationship, because I don't think high vibe people would do that. I think high vibe people offer truth and love to people. They want it to keep working. They have hope and faith and belief in it. But if the other people kind of are like, I don't want to keep moving forward that way, and that I have realized is not my truth, and you might have done this work to be more stable and grounded within yourself and more emotionally mature, and I'm not, and I haven't learned some of the lessons that you've learned, and I could find it's really challenging me that it kind of is triggering these things within me that I want to ignore in my foundation. And I don't like feeling this way, but it does trigger me to deal with some of these issues, and I don't like it. So then I almost might purposely do things to either try to control the situation, that's shadowy Aries energy, shadowy Sagittarius, lacking some insight, kind of operating more from ego. I know you love me. I will try to manipulate and control you to get you to do it the way I want. And they might try that for a while, but then it might be like, if they are someone who kind of is more about themself and their ego and their image, well, if they start to see that, well, I don't want to do life the way you want to do it, you don't want to make your life about and stay in the relationship for the reasons I would stay in it, because you feel like you're missing an opportunity in love, and I maybe wasn't planning to do really authentically invest myself and have skin in the game to begin with. Well, they could think, because you're kind of in a mismatched relationship, some of those people will invest in trying to either intimidate and control you to get you to do the relationship the way they want, or they want to burn your foundation down. If the most important thing they have to offer people is their image and their status and things like that, because they don't really invest in love or working through these issues that manipulate them, they of course don't want people to know that they were in a relationship with a loving, nurturing, supportive, encouraging person and they didn't move forward with them. People would be like, what? Why didn't you move forward with them? And this is like an idea. I want to maybe go get in a relationship. Everybody can want to go get in a relationship with someone who's more like themselves, because they've all kind of seen the truth that our truth is different. And of course, they want shadowy energy, can be competitive energy, shadowy Leo energy, being more competitive. There's winners and losers. Nobody can walk away from this saying, we decided it didn't work. No, someone's foundation is going down. And then the Five of Cups is Scorpio energy, which some people kind of go scorch earth on some people. I need to look like the victor and the winner, even though you could have been the more emotionally mature, stable, grounded, loving person. I'm going to do everything in my power to burn down your foundation so that people don't view you as a high vibe person. So that I look like the victor, because if that's what I use to get people to get in a relationship, because I'm not like authentic and loving and truthful and just and fair in a relationship, my image is the most important thing I have going for me. And so I might invest in doing something to try to tear you down. Virgo energy, hiding the truth, trying to maybe confuse other people about the truth of who you are if this relationship is going to end. And some of you could have went through something like that. Needless, when someone, or you find out someone leaves a relationship with you because they are more about themselves, more about ego and image and money and kind of like a social climber. That's really hurtful and confusing, and it gets you up in your head for a while. And then, because you don't want to stay stuck, kind of imprisoned, there is people that you loved, and it's hard to work through that. And Scorpio energy is about those emotionally complex feelings we have for people. So you offered love to the fire. Love is the answer. You offered love to the situation. You listened to your intuition. some people could have been more on the same page and on the right path. Maybe something happened in their life to kind of get them off path. Some people in their life maybe left their life that it really gets them kind of focused on that and kind of takes their focus off of truth and love, and then that can cloud their judgment, and they're not using good judgment, and then people want to feel better, and instead of choosing truth and love because they got some lessons to learn in shadowy Sagittarius energy, I know I'm going to make it more about me. I'm going to go focus on me, which to a degree wouldn't be bad, but are people communicating that to other people? I need to take some time to focus on me. I've went through something that has really been upsetting in my life, and I need to take this time for me, to feel more stable and grounded within myself. And other people are like, nope. Maybe some people left their life and then they decided they could go live their more authentic life. Maybe some people were hiding the truth of how they wanted to live their life because of other people in their life that they were trying to appease or whatever. But then if those people moved or were no longer in their life, it's like, now I'm free to go live my authentic life the way I really always wanted to. And for some of them, it is being more about themselves. It is, not doing love. It kind of makes me think of like people when they're young, like kids, through age 18, they got to live their life kind of in alignment with their family guidelines. And then when they get into college, they can burn that whole structure down because that's not my truth at all. And I want to go indulge in this. And then people can experience that also again, kind of like a midlife crisis, either when some people in their life are no longer in their life, and maybe, we're trying to do what other people do in their life and realize that's really not my truth, and I really don't want to have to make decisions that are best for everyone involved. I secretly am more about wanting to indulge in these world or these things of myself or my ego. And high vibe people just have to deal with the truth of that, offer themselves love, invest in themselves also to love and believe in themselves. The only thing is, other people might offer themselves things and go indulge in things as a way of making themselves feel better. Other people have learned to offer truth and love to themselves. That is what will set them free. Take the lessons they've learned so they don't go repeat the same pattern. They've learned lessons about other people next time as they're moving forward in life and other people come towards them. Now they've learned to listen to their intuition, which maybe back in their past they didn't listen to their intuition. And they're going to take the experience and life lessons they've learned to make better decisions in their life. And now if someone were to come towards them, or as they're moving forward when they meet other people, I'm going to get to know people, and Virgo energy can be about taking slow, steady steps. And to get to know people, we can treat everybody with love and respect in the way we like to be treated. Am I going to take more impulsive, reckless action? No, I maybe already did that and got myself in some more mismatched relationships. Got in relationships with some people who are maybe more immature, lack self-discipline, or more prideful, egotistical, or bossy than I realized. And I'm going to take all that information I've learned in the decisions that I make and who I more invest time, energy, and effort into. And as you're moving forward in that energy, there could be other people that are like, hey, don't go. Something I'm involved in here isn't working out. I want to be the next person to indulge in a relationship with you. And you're like, hey, I wish you peace and love and joy, but no, I still think you live more from your mind than your heart. you're more immature, you want to indulge in a relationship, you need to go find someone else to indulge in, because I'm looking for people who've kind of learned the same truths I have, not people who are still more motivated and inspired more by these, you know, the lower level kind of life, you know, which we all want stability and security and all that, but have people realize it's about balance and justice and fairness. And some people haven't, you know. And I was like, no, I'm not letting somebody else in that is in more worldly fire energy. I want someone who's more inspired by a more elevated fiery nature, more elevated in the fact that it's not as much about them or these things of the world, it's about love and having good boundaries within yourself, and has learned some of these same lessons as me. And as you're moving forward, you could be investing in something new. The Four of Wands can represent a foundation, a new friendship, workplace. Once initially people are going to do the work within themselves, and as they're moving forward, then it's kind of maybe realizing who really isn't on the same page as me, who is. And then I'm going to go invest in those people. And, the Five of Cups can talk about that there could have been other people in our life that we didn't even get in friendships or relationships with, or we got out of friendships and relationships with them, because we all had our own lessons to learn, and people could have gotten out of friendships and relationships with us too, because we all have these lessons to learn. And we are all, especially in those first 30, 40 years of our life, learning these lessons and repeating old patterns and kind of trying to realize why we do that and why don't we love ourselves and why do I reject loving people? Why do I kind of chase after and try to get people who are being unkind or unjust or unfair or unloving? Why do I put in so much work and effort to make those people love me? How about I just go find the people who are really more on the same page as me? And initially I could have thought I was doing that, but I maybe wasn't listening to my intuition, caught up in the world. Now I'm done with that. I really only want to invest my time, energy, and effort more so into people who I think are on the same page as me. And offering truth and love and inspiration to other people who might find themselves in similar situations. Offer love to yourself to work through your fears, your insecurities, your emotional confusion. Only you hold the key to you feeling loved and emotionally balanced within yourself. We can have people in our life who are loving and encourage, supportive people. Yes, find those people if you can. And if it is just enjoying the people in your world, I don't go to places and hang out with certain people at work or wherever where people are bitchy or witchy or rude or whatever. I appreciate all the people in my world, even if it's people at the coffee shop that are nice and kind and considerate and uplifting. Those are the people I'm going to invest my time and focus on. And people in my life that could be good role models, and fiery energy can be all those things that inspire us, books and movies and music. That's what I'm going to focus my intention on, and love myself to get out of my defensiveness. I have seen the truth about other people in my life. I've learned these lessons. I've learned to listen to my intuition. I'm not the same person I was before, and I'm making better decisions in my life. And I'm looking for other people who are doing that. So, what's coming up for people who harness some high vibe Cancer energy that they might not see coming up? I think as you're doing this work within yourself, people can see that you've moved on, that you have gotten, that you love yourself, believe in yourself, making good decisions in your life. And as you keep doing that, what you don't see coming is the Six of Cups. Why? Because of the Ace of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups. So what that could say, the Six of Cups can just be where you've come to a place of emotional peace and balance about the past. I accept that people are where they're at. I accept that people are at different emotional maturity levels. I accept that some people are shadowy. I accept that some people are more about themselves and ego and image, blah, 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 blah. You know? I accept it so I can be at a place of peace about the past. Everybody is where they're at. Everybody is driven and motivated by what drives and motivates them and what their truth is. Do I have to agree with it? Do I think it's just and fair? Do I think it's kind or loving? No. But I can be at a place of peace about it. And if I moved away from them, well, they have other people they're going to act that way with. And those people are going to have to decide if they're on the same page as them or learn some of the same lessons I've learned from them. And then they're going to have to go through the same process I did. I'm not going to let people who I might want to be in a relationship with who moved on ahead of me and they're in more just and fair and stable and grounded and loving relationships. Damn, I may be wanting to move forward with you. Well, that didn't work out. Okay, I got to deal with the truth of that too. And the whole thing is my dreams aren't codependent on certain people. It's finding the people who are on the same page as me at the same time. Kind of motivated and inspired and have learned some of the same lessons I have. Those are the people I need to work with. So I'm going to go keep with these. And how did you come to peace about it? Because you invested the time, energy, and effort to see through the emotional confusion and illusion. And the Five of Cups and the Seven of Cups and the Six of Cups is all Scorpio energy. Some people are still got all these issues from their past they haven't dealt with. Some people have illusions about what it means to be in a relationship. Some people are immature. Some people like more superficial and shallow relationships. Some people are more superficial and shallow. High vibe people want high vibe Scorpio relationships, which is deep, meaningful, authentic relationships. And, you know, got to learn all these lessons, and especially to love ourselves, listen to our intuition, not invest more in people whose houses are on fire and might still be at the Five of Cups and they haven't offered them self-love to come to peace about the past and haven't learned to love themselves and work through the emotional confusion. You know, I can offer love and compassion and encouragement to a lot of people. The people I want to more get involved in are other people who have worked through those issues to be at a place of peace about the past and issues they've gone through and have learned lessons in life and want to be in deep, meaningful relationships based on truth and love, not trying to create an illusion that you're loving when you're really not. You know, not about manipulating people, thinking it's all about you. If you want to work together with other people in joy and celebration, you have to treat other people the way you like to be treated. And some people still haven't learned that. And some of those people could be kind of have repeated the same situation with someone else. And now that situation's kind of unfair. Some of those people might be like, oh my gosh. You know, and some people, again, they're always like looking to get rescued. Oh shit. I did something that I shouldn't have done. Oh shit, this house is starting on fire. Who else can I go get in a relationship with? So I can make it look like I didn't start that fire. It's like, no, you started that fire. But people can try to confuse people about the truth. You know, it wasn't me. It's like, okay, well, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. Eventually the truth comes out. And then I think as high vibe people are moving forward in that energy and you're in this place of peace and balance within yourself and people see that you have learned these lessons, you're going on this new journey, you're not repeating an old pattern, you're not looking for someone to rescue you, you are doing this work within yourself, not being in more codependent energy. For one, I think you could have a lot of options of people that you could get in a relationship if you wanted. It's just that some of those people are like other people you've been in a relationship with, and it's like, sorry. And maybe as you keep moving forward, there I think will be other people who's like, oh, I want to be the next person to indulge in a relationship with you, or I want you to rescue me. I didn't like the situation I was in. And I just think you'll listen to your intuition about people, get to know them slowly. And if your intuition tells you that some of the people that come towards you, some of the people you meet as you move forward, do seem to kind of be on the same page as you, those are the people you'll move forward with. And then the fiery energy could be that, we've all worked through these regrets of the past, and we're inspired at a foundational level to be our authentic self in the world. Look, I'm aligned with my more hopeful, believing, loving nature, not my more emotionally immature nature. What's coming up for some people who might harness a more worldly, shadowy Cancer energy that they don't see coming up? And the Six of Cups can also represent people from your past. Could be in your family, people you've known from childhood, your adult children, siblings, parents, people that you've known. If people see, if for any reason some of the people are always moving forward with you in your life, other people might be like, hey, I learned lessons too. And if you think those people are telling you the truth, they're people you're willing to bring back into your life to some degree or another. And other people will be people that you meet as you move forward. What's coming up for the more worldly focused people? The Ten of Cups. Why? Because of the Five of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups. When people are being kind of shadowy or immature, want to be kind of indulged in a relationship, bossy, controlling, whatever, they're always going to have some high vibe people in their life. Because those people, something that they had been in a relationship with didn't work out, so they're looking to meet new people to get to know them. So the Five of Pentacles can kind of mean that they feel kind of left out in the cold, and they're looking to, move forward with people. There's someone in the distance there. I'm very sure. Oh, wait, no, that's just their stick. But there's just other people in the world that are looking for other people, trying to find out, are you on the same page as me? And the high vibe people in their life want to keep moving forward. Do you want to move forward with me? I think I would be happy, emotionally fulfilled to be in a relationship with you. I would like to be in a long-term relationship with you. But if the high vibe people have, again, been doing this work and effort in a relationship with someone who's kind of shadowy, the high vibe people have hope and faith and belief and love. And eventually they feel left out in the cold in this relationship. Like, it's not as abundant as it could be if we were more balanced, loving, had a more deep, meaningful relationship. It might have all these things of the world that look victorious, but it's not very emotionally fulfilling. And the Eight of Cups walks away from the Seven of Cups in shadowy energy. I feel like you create illusions. I think you try to confuse me about the truth of who you are. And eventually the high vibe people offer themselves that cup of love to leave. And they're going to go find people who are more on the same page as them. I don't want the illusion. I want the real deal. I don't want people living more from their mind than their heart. I want people who are balanced within themselves. Kind of in their fiery nature and their emotionally intuitive nature, and based on the lessons they've learned in their worldly nature. And the Virgo is holding the truth, which is kind of like the air sign energy. I want to work with people who've learned lessons in life that are balanced between their emotional nature and being more about themselves, Let's find a balance there. And some of these people are going to have some more high vibe people leave their life if they keep not wanting to see the truth, or keep thinking other people should be that way. I don't have to be that way. You should because of my victory or success or my looks, you should want to keep staying in a relationship with me. Or I'm offering you these things of the world. It's like, yeah, and just those things of the world make me feel left out in the cold. What about love? A balanced life. Because it's kind of like the 2 5 of cups. Our shadowy nature kind of doesn't want to align with our loving nature. Our loving nature doesn't want to align with our more shadowy nature. But we have to offer love, that we have both aspects to ourselves in order to move forward in truth and love and be more, not one or the other. And some shadowy people could just not learn to get balance within themselves. I pick one and ignore the other one. And it's like, well, I don't want to keep ignoring the other one. And the other one feels like it's being ignored. And that's what drives and motivates me. And so they're always going to have high vibe people who live their life. Some of those people are looking for people to rescue them instead of doing, and which could be part of the reason they were in the relationship with other people, because they could have both been in that energy, which we've all been in more codependent energy. High vibe people do the work having supportive, encouraging people in your life, but not making them be the answer to your problems. I am the answer to my problems, and I want to work together with other people who work on their problems, and then we work together in a supportive environment. And if they keep acting this way, which some of them will, because they're happy living their life that way. And there's going to be other people that are happy living their life that way because that's where they're at too. Those same things motivate and inspire them. I could operate more from my worldly nature. I could be more about money and materialism and status and image. Yeah, I find that emotionally fulfilling. I think that'll make me happy. I want to move forward with you. And then they'll find someone else to move forward with. And it would be a just and fair relationship to be in a relationship with someone who lives life, views relationships the way they do. It's harder if they're kind of an egotistical, bossy, controlling person. Then they're just kind of looking for someone else who just might be more motivated by things of the world or a more codependent energy. You get 2 bossy, controlling, egotistical people together, then probably one of them is eventually going to leave to go find someone who will kind of indulge them in their ego. And for some of the people, if you know some people who are quite bossy, egotistical, full of themselves, they could have went to try to go get in a relationship with someone who's like that. And that person could have left too, because it's like, well, no, I want to be the center of attention. Well, no, I'm supposed to be the center of attention. No, you're supposed to put in the work and effort. No, you're supposed to put in the work and effort. No one wants to give, So for some people, what they went to go pursue didn't work out. If they tried to manipulate another high vibe person, that person could be leaving or did leave. They need to go get in a relationship with someone who's more on the same page, driven and motivated by the same things they are. Quit trying to trap loving people in a relationship with you when you know you're not motivated and inspired by love. And the loving people who don't stay trapped, go find the people in the world who are more on the same page as them. So, I wish you peace, love, and joy, Cancer, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.